What's up, RC groups? This is Matt. I wanted to show you real quick a Hexacopter aerial videography and photography platform that I just built within the past week. Actually been working on it for a while. Finished it in the past week, and I would like to sell it so that I can raise money for some more projects I would like to do. We're looking to build an X8 next. But anyway, I'm pretty proud of this little quad, Hexacopter. It's got a couple of cool features that I built in. I put a enclosure around all the electronics and around the multi-Wii controller. That's a multi-Wii standard edition, by the way. I put a LED light with its own light enclosure on there so that you can still see what's going on with the multi-Wii, and you'll know the status. It's hooked up to the status LED. And for the receiver that's currently in here, it's a Turnigy 9X receiver, which is what I use. That obviously can go away. You could put your own, but I have that directly connected to a whip antenna, so everything's nice and clean. It's got 2 battery packs on there. You can put whatever cell, you can put up to a 4-cell battery. I'll get to the ESCs in just a moment, but you can do up to a 4-cell battery. I've got 2 3-cell at 2200 milliamp hours on here. They mount on either side, so it's nice and balanced. You can kind of see that up underneath there. And then to reduce fatigue on the plugs, I've installed a switch. So you can see here you got your LED going and you got your switch there. Those are all good things to have so that you're not yanking the connectors out of their sockets over time. The ESCs on here, they're mystery ESCs. They're rated for I believe 30 or 35 amps total. So they are good for 4-cell batteries. If you need to put 4 cells on there, I don't really know why you would, but and they're also flashed with the Simon K firmware, and that's why you kind of see this sort of ugly electrical tape around them. After I removed the jackets and flashed them with the firmware, I needed a way to kind of cover them back up. So yeah, they've got a little electrical tape. I cleaned up everything on there with some rubbing alcohol before I put the tape on, so it holds nicely. It's wrapped real nice and tight, so it's not like it's going to unravel on you. The motors on here are all brand new except for one. Rather 2. There's 2 motors that have been previously used. Here's an example of one of them. They have a little bit of a scuff on them. You can tell which 2 were previously used. And when I say previously used, they were used for just a few minutes. I think maybe 10 or 15 total on a quad I built with these. And then I decided I'd gotten a deal on 8 motors. I decided I'd save it for a Hexa, which is what I've used it for now. And so I put it on this, and this will also come with the 2 extra motors, so you'll have 2 spare motors with this. Yeah, it's got a motorized gimbal on the bottom. That's just one axis. It's for pitch. So that's hooked up to the multi-Wii, and when I turn it on just a second, I can go ahead and demo it now. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and turn this on. So if I throw the switch on my transmitter, well, kind of hard to see on the video, but I think you can hear the servo doing its work. Anyway, so that is in a nutshell the Hexa. Now there is one thing for you to be aware of on here before I show you how it flies. It's a really stupid thing. When I was putting it together, I dropped it here in the garage, and so there's a hairline fracture right here in this leg. I've got a piece of carbon fiber, a little plate that I can include to send with it. This fracture right now, it doesn't affect the stability at all. It's more cosmetic than anything. But if it's a worry, I can certainly include a little tiny plate of carbon fiber that you could use to shim it up if you really needed to. I don't think you need to. I've been flying it around with no problems with it just like that. So pretty much just a very gently used, more or less brand new Hexa. This is obviously one of the nice nylon arm frames. It's not DJI, but it's the same thing, probably made by the same sources over in China. And took a lot of care with this. Everything is thread locked. I took my time. Everything that's a soldered connection is soldered very well. Everything follows best practices, and like I said, poured a lot of energy into this. Another thing I want to show real quick before I forget is the props, the way they're mounted. These are threaded connections, so you're not going to find the props flying off mid-flight. So everything's well, I don't want to loosen it up right now, but everything's threaded down onto there with the spinner, and then the actual assembly is bolted into the motor itself, into the motor housing. So yeah, that's a good thing. It kind of keeps it nice and stable. So with all those things being said, I wanted to just fly it for you real quick so you get an idea of the stability.